focusing her mind on that. She has been basically for the last long time, since she was alone with Bree. Really, she has been very disturbed in a way, sort of distant. It seems she has put her passion really into just training, getting better with her weapons, getting more, capable herself. Has really poured a lot of passion into it. But this day, sort of, he's sort of not really seen her a whole lot recently because he spent a lot of time doing that, and he spent his time riding around the lands and sending people around and doing that sort of thing. But she will look at him as he comes up to her. Basically, she has sent like probably Lucas to fetch him from whatever he was doing, and she's seemingly a little sort of slightly scared, but also determined. Her brow furrowed a bit. She looks out over the lands, looks at him. She has her spear and her shield here with her, and she's dressed in her chainmail. Her fine chainmail.
Sure.
How's Lanus dressed?
Well, I imagine Lanus has been doing a lot of paperwork today. So he's dressed in. Well, he's dressed in his standard, more or less noble garb. Maybe a bit of a surcoat over the top, but
khakis.
No.
It is exceptionally cold today, actually, and a little bit of snow has fallen. This is very, very rare to happen this far south. Generally, doesn't snow here. It has happened, perhaps last session, a few times in Decim's sort of lifetime, or really in living memory, and it's not a lot of snow. It's more like it falls, lands on the ground, and sort of turns to water pretty quickly. Doesn't really stay there, but it is enough that people begin talking that this winter might be longer than most, and certainly begin rationing more, and being a little more scared. A few more prayers coming than usual. It's a bad omen. Said seems sort of looking at it, not really seeing it, perhaps. Maybe Lanus would expect her to be more surprised or more intrigued by it. She's very adventurous, and she's probably never seen snow before.
It's possible Lanus hasn't seen
He has
snow.
either, yeah. As she looks out over it, she walks up. Her cheeks are sort of reddened. She's clearly cold, being used to the Dornish sort of very hot climate compared to this.
Mm-hmm. I don't imagine Lanus particularly likes the cold that much either.
No, he's probably much more into heat than cold. Though his inner fire sort of might actually starve it off a little bit.
A little bit.
She has no such luck as she turns to look at him and look over the lands. And she'll say, "I haven't seen you much recently."
We've been quite busy, haven't we?
We have. She says, "With your brother gone, I hoped perhaps we would have a little more time."
Smiles a little bit. It would be nice, wouldn't it?
You know, I spoke of us traveling to Dawn in some moons.
Yes.
Have you considered that any further? The letter returned. My brother would welcome us at will.
I expected he would. I have considered it. Kind of looks up at the sky slightly at the snow coming down and frowns. There's certainly not an option at the moment. But
It's perhaps in 8 moons or so. Her hand sort of trembles a little bit.
he looks at her and just pauses a little bit.
Says she looks at him, sort of clearly nervous. So she looks around and says, Yes, I would rather be among my family. She sort of looks just, you know, you know what I mean. We are going to have an heir. Look at him, says,
Lanus's, Lanus's frown at the sky and everything else just turns to almost just an ecstatic look. Just not that. That's wonderful. Moving a little bit close to us. It was cold as well.
she moves sort of her hand down to her, the middle of her belly, sort of. She just looks at him and says, I'm going to rely a lot on you, you know. I won't be able to defend myself in this time. I'm a little scared.
Don't. I'll do everything I can. Your problems are my problems. My problems are your problems. Remember?
She nods. Then you'll understand why I would want to be in Dawn when it happens.
It'd also be quite dangerous for you to travel that state.
She nods slightly. Well, if we stay here and it's a girl. She furrows her brow, looking at Linus. She would be disinherited.
Lanus just pauses slightly, considering. You'd much rather she had the opportunity to inherit. She just gestures round the house.
Nonsense. I see no reason why my daughter should not have the same rights as my son. Going to Dawn would give us the benefit of Dornish law. We could. She looks and says, no matter where the birth takes place, in Dawn, she will always be, if it's a she, the lady of this house. Should we have a son following, and should they both be born here, then he will be the lord of the house here, but in Dawn, she will be the lady of the house. I just. It could create conflict, and I couldn't bear that.
Just a warm smile and kind of moving in a bit to give her a hug. Mm-hmm. I understand. We'll see how things go. I can certainly see your worries here.
She nods. Says, I am. It won't be visible much for a few moons yet, but says, I suppose we're in the Reachlands, so it would be your duty to inform the rest of our house when they return, though I suspect there will be no hiding it by then.
Likely not. Joe, this is wonderful news.
She sort of touches your shoulder and moves in to kiss you lightly. She says, I suppose it is, but it's also...
Scary?
She nods quickly. Very much so.
We were worrying about our marriage only a short time ago.
There are a few people I know around here that I can speak to about this. I suppose it would be the Maester, but he found that he's just so creepy.
Laneth can't help but allow us a small little chuckle to that. He might be, yes.
I really want to go to Ironwood or Will or somewhere in Doran when this happens. She looks at him, pleading eyes. Please.
Well, I can't guarantee I'll see what can be done. Being near family, so certainly I can understand.
I trust you with this. She takes your hands.
You understand it's dangerous, though, taking your hands back. So, I doubt that would really stop you anyway, would it?
She gives you a smile. That probably confirms that. Things are going to change from now on.
They will.
We're going to have to be more in control.
We'll pull it off. Together.
She nods. Gives it a squeeze. Turns back to looking at the snow. And probably just says something like, I've never seen snow before. I expected it to be colder.
I haven't seen it before either. Though it's not laying like the stories say. Looking out down towards the ground, which is melting.
The conversation probably goes into a little more discussing snow. She's clearly comforted by not being alone. And probably, she's maybe even known for a little while before she told you. But she's clearly comforted by having shared the news, so to speak.
It's okay, but staying quite close to her while up on the roof here, trying to keep her warm for one.
It's very cold, but
it's quite clear that she's cold.
I mean, it's not like the 10 years of winter with ice spiders and such. So
But we
that's what the stories tell. Yeah. It probably doesn't snow in Doran. That's probably a safe assumption.
That is a pretty safe assumption.
Snow in the Boneway. That would be something.
I'd be unsure how to handle that. Wouldn't run out of water as easily.
How does Lena's act these next couple of days?
I would imagine 1, very high spirits, and 2, checking up a lot on Rosette.
She certainly still trains and fights and prepares with her shield, and she seems to have indeed been rather good, become rather good with it.
He'll certainly spend a bit more time with Rosette than he was before, with this kind of beaming through his head constantly.
She will certainly put off the training when they're together, spending some time. All right, you're still left very much alone as Agatha is still spending time with Nalia's newborn. That's Ryman also.
Over the baby.
Agatha's about to lose her shit.
Agatha's gonna love it.
And Alaric too, and
You're gonna be my life is full of so many babies.
they're gonna grow up together and train together, play, and it's gonna be a whole new life.
She's never gonna be so happy.
This is what the house needs.
I haven't felt this amazing since I had children of my own. Now Desmond's lost himself into painting.
How old is Dism?
How old Decim is?
Well, I mean, Agatha, I'm sure, is beyond childbearing years as well.
I don't think we can have more children.
That's not a thing that happened.
I'm pretty sure you just.
That was the last one that happened, and since then it has not.
No,
I
was.
Sorry, I forgot that.
It was pretty bad the last time it happened. So.
Well, you do have 3 kids.
There's probably a pretty bad painting in the dark room.
There's something down there that even Decim probably really doesn't want to look at.
It.
Yeah.
Doesn't recall its own painting.
Won't that be great when Halen's like, why do we have like an entire room, and he like wanders down there and like
goes down into the one where the painting. There's one painting there that's turned around.
Yep. In that room.
And you just don't look at it.
Has
walks up like
has
completely
like a
skull fucked effectively.
It has like a black satin sheet over it. Then he
Well,
peeks
if
When you
under
go
it.
close, you can almost hear whispers.
Exactly.
Desmond does have 3
Like
kids,
a
though.
baby's crying.
But I will add, Tyrant does say that Cersei still can bear children, and Catelyn says so as well that she
Well,
hopes to give Ned another child
The
at
thing
the
with
beginning of
the thing with Desmond and Agatha was that Agatha barely survived the last miscarriage, and Maester Cole was basically like, "No, she can't do this again."
Don't try. It'll be bad. Even I can't fix it.
Yep.
That's why I said beyond like childbearing years, not in the not in the modern sense.
It's more like the
You know, she's getting there, but
more like the doctor saying like, "No."
don't. Just don't.
Okay.
Maester Cole is probably one of the only other people who've been in the dark room, like with Decim.
He doesn't talk about it either much.
His only real comment was that it was fascinating.
And then looked at
A
Desmond
slight
with
smile.
In like
Yeah.
the
Basically looked at Decim with the, "Oh, I would love to study your mind."
like, in the dim light of like a candle or like a torch or whatever that was carried down in there.
Yep.
Like his
Maybe a
face like
silent,
half shrouded in shadow.
Maybe a silent promise of when you become infirm after being in the bed, I shall be there for you as well.
You know, Decim is comforted by that. He has the utmost
There might
confidence in
be a
Maester Cole.
thesis in the waiting.
Yeah.
I have a cautious respect for Maester Cole.
Maester
Under
Cole's
black
magnum
brush.
opus. Yeah.
By Maester Cole.
When I grow up, I want to be creepy just like Cole.
Sinister and monstrous. Yeah.
That is Desmond's kid, I suppose.
Decim's kid is indeed trying to be a maester, but
Yep.
he's been told no by his dad. You have to wait.
You have to.
Where are your kids?
Well, my
One is
son
in
is in.
Blackhaven. And another one is in Old Town.
Yes.
Why are they not with you?
Well, my son is in Old Town to become a maester, and my
You said no to him.
yeah, I say
he's still
hold
there.
off
For taking the vows.
because
Can't vow
we
yet.
because we might need you if things go bad.
But
It's
see,
like,
my
I'm not sure about
understanding
the
is
current
that
heir. I might need you.
once the maester takes his vows, he's forever like disconnected from his
Yes.
former house.
He
That's
will be
it.
sent to some place in a different realm, and he won't visit or write or. There's nothing. You give up your family entirely. That's why
Yeah.
Maester Cole doesn't have a last name. He was probably a noble somewhere, someplace, sometime. But
He's a
And,
Targaryen.
and his daughter is married to House.
just Dondarrion
Arian.
and Fred.
Yes.
Dondarrion, the heir.
So one is in Old Town, one is in with
Blackhaven.
Dondarrion. And where's the last one?
Dead
Dead.
Oh,
in childbirth.
Thanks for being
Thanks for
sensitive
bringing
about
that
it.
store up.
how am I supposed to remember all your kids?
Regardless, Agatha is right now happy and doesn't think about that at all.
That's great.
The trip home is probably very unpleasant and sort of slow because Lady Bonicia only has so much time to actually take care of you. So it is not great. Not great travel at all. Very uncomfortable. She does take care of you, though she can't really prevent you from, like, her healing skills are not like super amazing. She can't really keep you from, like, she can keep you from dying, but she can't fix you while you're on horseback.
Dying is pretty good, though.
Yeah, I suppose. She will speak to Alaric, primarily, about him, his physique, if he's ever had any major injuries,
I'd probably say this is
when he
ranked as
began to grow this large. And
She's trying to assess your quality, not unlike when you were trying to assess Hugo's quality. Halldamir.
She's viewing you the same, I do
that
believe.
Would be a good, that would be a good way to see it.
How does Alaric feel
Yeah.
being sized up like a breeding horse?
I suppose he put up with it a lot back in his younger years. More of a like, holy fuck, you're big. Are you still growing? Are you still getting bigger? What the fuck?
It depends. Are you taking your pants off?
Instead, it might be like like part of him is like, is this how insensitive I've sounded to people over the years? Because like he's been forced into introspective mode.
Yeah.
She seems pretty insensitive also of your sorrow and your wound. She doesn't really, like, if you're being super mopey, she kind of just leaves you alone. But you don't really get many consoling words other than, I mean, she's flirting pretty heavily with you, though you're right now probably in no condition to do anything of the sort.
Definitely not able to flirt back or do anything about said flirting.
With your 4 penalty dice, what tests could you actually make? Like
I mean, your
fighting,
talking is
Hey,
basically.
Fighting, endurance, and warfare. I
You're
can still
basically
do.
tied to your horse.
Yeah.
I like how you can lead an army right now. Well,
Yeah, I can still lead an army.
Tactically, maybe more right.
Yeah, no, I can't. There's no chance of me telling anybody what to do.
Or talking,
No.
for that matter, walking or.
Everything else, I'm
Well,
screwed.
she will talk. She has no problem with it. With you being like super wounded, that's no big issue.
she's the sort who will take advantage of you. It's good to know.
I mean,
Yeah.
you're wounded. It's fine.
Yeah, Larik's not too bothered about wounds either.
Yeah.
Gets
She taps
along.
some blood from you and puts it in a vial, and talks a little more to you.
That's a bit weird. Wait, what?
It's for the healing purposes.
She's a Trent,
She
remember?
doesn't use leeches, but some bad blood has to leave anyway.
That kind of makes sense. Yeah.
It's not like you haven't gotten plenty of it out of you already.
I mean,
Wow.
what kind of healing test can Alaric make right now? So,
I mean, he probably doesn't even
hmm.
notice. Maybe the others notice. Desmond probably would, because he's capable of actually doing everything, because he's fine. Qualler, though, is like injured, so he's I
Poor
suppose,
Qualler.
like
Oh, you can have him
Why?
underneath your jacket,
It's poking
close
out.
to your heart.
Yeah,
Wrap-
Yeah, oh, that would be so cute.
his
You could do
head
that.
pokes out of the
you
coat.
fall off the horse. Oops.
Uh-oh.
Well,
Did you lose your pony?
Pony's gone.
Pony's
Aw.
gone.
Sit with Nima,
Yeah.
you goof.
she will basically, if need be, she has like, well, she's gotten a horse in what's it called, like Harvest Hall, to do. So the other one, but she will also say that I mean, should Alaric choose to propose to her, then that would be pretty easy to handle. Of course, there would be certain things that have to be considered.
Like
He seems to be the kind of knight whom her father would appreciate. He's got strong years ahead of him. He's strong. He has some reputation for doing well. He clearly has a strong physique. That's a good necessary thing. Now, of course, she'll also remind you that she does need to bring your maester with her home so that he could help them with the plague. It's sort of also why she's here. She's going out of her way, after all. She couldn't just let you die there on the ground. So,
I guess. She wouldn't get her. She wouldn't get the maester to come with her if we were dead, right?
presumably not. She could get the healing herbs. Hey.
It'd be difficult to make an argument case for being able to borrow the maester if the people who are going to inform House Caladan of the.
And he does have a reputation for dealing with some bad stuff that happened to Lord Karen. So maybe he can do it. She talks a lot. Maybe no one else really talks to her. Alaric isn't really capable. Doesn't really care to. Eventually, though, you certainly get into your own lands and certainly also reach the walls of respite with the Caladan banners flying. It's called that the gate should be opened, and it is. And probably someone is sent for Lanus from wherever he is. Who said it's like the bedroom or something.
Let's say he was in like the council chamber doing paperwork.
Right. Well, Lucas will come and summon him. Lucas is also has been absent for a few days. Agatha doesn't know where he was, but he's probably just being, you know, boys in your age. He isn't married after all. He's probably just out doing something or other. But he's come back here, and Ladies haven't really seen him. But he's acting strange. Definitely strange. He's being quiet and very sort of nervous as he comes and knocks and quickly tells you that they have returned, and it seems like they're wounded.
Just
He seems almost afraid.
is there something else the matter?
Says, I think you better hurry,
Yes, of course.
my lord.
Kind of just as he's passing, trying to kind of judge. This isn't normal Lucas. What's up with him?
Well, would you roll an empathy?
I could roll empathy.
Well, it would seem like he's done something that he's like. You've seen this kind of before. He might have done something that he's afraid will get him in trouble. Pretty bad trouble.
I'll speak to him later.
The gate's open for you to enter, should you wish it. The snows have stopped at this point.
Steps out, watching all this come in, and
Lady Swan takes a look around the keep, appraisingly.
I imagine it's pretty obvious how wounded people are, considering maxed out wounds.
Probably like wrapped in bandages and still bloody and just like, yeah, tired and...
Yeah, doesn't move.
Lanus will call for some servants and rush over.
The mace does also on his way,
What
though.
the hell, Bree? Don't fall off the horse.
Doesn't will get off the horse, Qualler flapping kind of painfully and sitting on his shoulder while waving the horse to be taken care of. He will walk up and Lanus doesn't need an empathy check to see what Decim is currently feeling. He looks like basically the heavens have fallen.
Desm, what happened?
He shakes his head, leans heavily on the cane and says, "There was an ambush, Lanus. They knew where we were, when, and exactly who we were traveling with. We barely made it. We barely made it. If it wasn't for, everyone, we would have died. We are quite hurt." He sort of looks around. I'm afraid that Maester Cole will be even more taxed in the coming weeks. The Red Adder.
This far north?
He nods. Yes, somehow he moved a band of elite archers, cavalry, and infantry up into Selmy territory and ambushed us.
These four Dornish men are just trying to carry, basically trying to get Alaric to the Maester's quarters, basically.
That's worrying. At least Elena pauses,
Yeah.
looking from Alaric to Desm to the back of Nemo,
Decim grimaces.
and then his eyes just looking to Desm with a, oh god.
So Alaric survived somehow. The same for Nima and Bree. I rode to get help. I'm afraid I was too late in arriving with the help. And Manfer is dead. He died protecting Alaric's flank.
His heart drops slightly.
There's some nods, and he looks way older than he is currently. Yes, the any personal loss aside, the political ramifications. He shakes his head. It's difficult to assess at the moment.
I see, and Linus's eyes dart over to
Dasm looks over and says,
He's giving you a friendly smile. Dark long hair.
May I present Lady Bonicia Swan? This is Linus Caladan.
She looks at him and says, "A pleasure to meet you, my lord. Had I known you were so fetching, perhaps I should have visited earlier."
Dasm gives Linus a look. Like, ugh.
She goes for him to kiss her hand.
Meta-wise, for a second, would that be normal,
It's
regular?
appropriate, yeah.
Yeah,
I
okay.
mean, if she is a pretty maiden anyway.
Which she certainly
Yeah,
place
I just
to
did.
be.
I just wanted to double check it. I just wanted to double check it better if that was actually appropriate.
You could, of course, roll a that would be like breeding check.
I can roll that. I actually have a bonus dice in
See
breeding.
if it's appropriate.
Breeding, all right.
I'll tell about my breeding check.
Just
See how well you can actually greet a lady in the proper manners. Yeah, all right, that's fine. You know exactly what to do. You were brought up right.
Just before Alaric goes out of view, he'll try his best to be as loud as he can so Linus can hear and say, we should get the garrison out on the walls watching.
Linus
Just
hears
in
like
case
a,
something.
unless you can roll me an automatic
An automatic?
persuasion check. Do you have a die?
Uh,
That's not being taken away by penalties.
oh, no.
No. Well then,
No.
yeah. Basically.
What about I'm
effectively-
commanding units to attend?
No. I mean, you can probably like grumble, but speaking loudly so will basically be like you try to say, "Lurr!" and then it's probably just like like pained moans and groans.
Mm.
She looks over and like gives you a smile and a wink, flirty wink. Sure. So they as these guards like struggle to get you up the stairs.
Desmond will continue. Welcome to Winter's Respite, Lady Bonicia. We will have the guest room prepared for you.
Quick eyebrow and says, "All right then, that should be fine. When do you expect that I can take the maester with me?"
Well, I suspect when the Maester deems the rest of my family capable of surviving without his ministrations.
She frowns slightly and says, "Well, I suppose, if need be, I could see to them while they're here, while he can go ahead. Should that be needed?"
If Nima can hear her say that, Nima yells, "Yes, please!"
Desmond will
She looks over at Nima and looks to Desmond and sort of raises an eyebrow.
Desmond will look at her, not really betraying what he's thinking, and said, "I am sure that something can be discussed in the future, but for now I have some things to see to." As he looks to Linus, mumbling as he sort of.
Yeah.
Would you like to take the lady? Would you like to take the lady inside? Looks like we need to get Bree and Nina in.
Looks to the guard. Come on, let's explore.
Linus gives a look up. We need to talk later.
Yeah, before Linus sort of leaves, Desmond will say, "They knew exactly where to go and where to hit us. They were prepared. Poisons, archers. They knew precisely how to attack us, and they almost succeeded." He looks around. I only see Dornish on the walls.
No, there are some archers and such. I just don't have the tokens for them out. Doesn't have plenty of bothering. There are most Dornish around the gate, though. Yeah.
Looks at Linus. Has anything been going on while we just after we left?
That I can imagine could affect this situation. I don't think so. It's been rather peaceful for the most part.
We have letters to send. House Karen needs to be informed. And some other things that need to be sorted out.
Right, so a look. Yes. I said, we'll speak later. Kind of his, you can definitely see kind of like he's looking over towards Bree and Nima really worried.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, they need to get to the Maester, of course.
Don't stop him, he's going to go over there and try helping them.
Desmond will shoot Nima and Bree a look that basically point upwards to the keep with his cane towards the Maester's quarters, and then he will.
Hold on. I got something for this. Let me say here. Let's see, minus.
Can you roll the persuasion?
There. Let's see here. Can I notice that with my penalties? Huh? I mean, it's not bad.
Probably can.
Bree, like not half, completely slumped over the horse. Sees her uncle. Sees her point at the Maester. Doesn't know whether she agrees.
Desmond's look makes it clear that this is not up for debate. And then he will.
I don't agree either.
Luckily, this is not a democracy, but a tyranny.
Oh, damn it.
And,
I knew I should have joined the different campaign.
Yeah.
Fuck Tina, we're going to the democracy campaign. This is bullshit.
Yeah, let's do it. Let's go.
A game of democracy.
That's right. A game of representative.
Supreme executive power derives from the mandate of the masses.
Bree, through immense pain, sees her brother approaching, though, and tries her best to put on a look of... ultimately, she feels indifferent towards Lanus and thinks that his craven nature has caused him to betray his family and Rosette. She tries to muster a friendly smile, is not deceptive enough to pull it off, and comes across as one of like, oh, great, you.
Lanus is going to just completely ignore that, even though he has way more than enough empathy to work it out.
Nima tries to look strong and not wounded at all. And it's clearly not failing.
The two of you are wounded as well. Kind of calls over some servants to come over. We need to get you upstairs. Bree, come on. I'll help you up.
Bree.
Seeming generally concerned.
Looks, reluctant. Also looks, as if she doesn't know whether Lanus can actually help her up, but she's willing to play along. In part because she is too wounded right now to really argue.
Mm-hmm.
Don't worry, Nini. Maybe we'll get lucky. The Maester will be so tired with whatever that Lady Swan will have to look after us.
Let's hope so.
Yes.
She's the one been treating you?
I guess I'm gonna be the one leaning on the horse now.
Heinrich will take care. Heinrich will
I called over like servants or guards. They'll be help you.
Yeah.
Yes, I've befriended.
No,
servants.
it's fine. I'll walk.
Yeah.
I can only carry so much.
I don't care. I walk. I don't need stupid servants to walk for me.
Yeah.
What kind of bullshit is this?
Sure.
That would be her, as far as I'm aware, Lady Swan.
What's with all the blooming?
They collapsed against the wall, panting as they've dragged Elric up the stairs.
Like, oh god! Oh god!
I was not prepared for that. We
There
should
is
have had
nothing.
enough fall.
There is not a mammoth in the north as heavy as that one.
You're Dornish. You don't even know what a mammoth is.
They've heard the songs.
Oh no, they've heard the tales. Yeah, they've heard all the bards singing
But
about
the
mammoths
Grumpkins and
giants.
Snarks,
Yeah.
the mammoths.
I assume the lord of the house hasn't
Oh,
returned
is
yet.
Aaron Caladan dead?
When the blessed
Oh, that's
king
an unconscious cross.
of the north dragged the Dragon Knight all the way up the Poneway, he was not as tired as this.
That's a fact. Yeah.
By the way, you asked what book was Manfa's favorite. I just remembered by that. Because it is, in fact, the Tales of Sir Aemon the Dragon Knight.
Oh,
It's a collection of tales of how
Oh, God
Aemon
damn it.
bravely acted in the Wars of Dawn. Now he bravely faced even like the pit full of vipers in the will snakes that bit him and poisoned him all over his body. How he refused their poison, and how the gods saw his bravery and gave Baelor the Blessed the ability and strength to walk the bone way barefoot to carry him out of the pit. As the gods collectively saw his bravery and had only mercy and only blessing to give to a man so brave. So Elric, of course, can't read it. He can look at the pictures. Common enough pictures.
Look at the pictures and the like the squiggles. He presumes are words. He doesn't know.
some sort of sorcery.
Yeah.
What sorcery are these books?
Yeah, exactly. These
Could be
things,
proposed
and then
each
you
year.
Karen blood sorcerers.
fucking bullshit magicians.
They have pictures of people who are dead for a long time. That's horrid.
Fuck.
Can't believe this shit.
Capture their souls in
Who the
your
fuck even does this?
Oh, it's beautiful.